Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rose Writes and I write and narrate Miraculous Ladybug fan fiction. Thank you so much to ChocoLuck Chipz for allowing me to use their amazing artwork in my thumbnail. If you haven't yet, don't forget to go check them out. They are amazing and they deserve all the love. Now then, please enjoy Day 26. Secrets. Will he still love me if I tell him the truth? I pride myself in my honesty, but lately, it's just one thing after another. As each day dragged on, I had even more photo shoots, press release, and of course, Akuma attacks. I twirled a strand of my hair around my finger until it curled a bit, ultimately falling pin straight. Marinette? I jumped at the sound of my own name. Sorry, yes, I said definitively, answering a question praying it was a yes or no question, and that yes was the correct response. I didn't ask you anything, Adrien said curiously, staring at me from across the table at our favorite cafe. He reached across to smooth my pigtails that had become loose from my endless fidgeting. Are you okay? You seem a little on edge. My eye twitched a bit from lack of sleep. I undid my hair, letting it fall past my shoulders, then compulsively picked at my split ends that had grown worse over time. When was the last time I had gotten a haircut? Like a real one, not one for myself as I had a mental breakdown in the mirror. Oh, yeah, fine. Just peachy, you know? I'm a normal girl with a normal life. Nothing abnormal. I propped my head up with an arm, my elbow slipping on the glass surface. My arm dropped, my face narrowly missing the table. Oops. Did I just fall asleep? I shouldn't have stayed up that late on TikTok, but I couldn't help it. Kitten TikTok was just too cute. Especially when their owners catch them singing. It's rare that I have time to myself, and even more rare that I get to sleep at a reasonable time. But when I do go to bed before 3 a.m., I pass the hours scrolling. Adrien sat tall in his wicker chair, arms crossed. He stared at me like a disappointed parent who just saw their child steal a cookie before dinner. Marinette, I know you. What's wrong? What's wrong? I mindlessly echoed. Nothing. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I lied through my teeth. Even I couldn't believe me. But I couldn't stop. If my eyes twitching didn't give it away, my tone certainly would. Adrien released all of the air he had been holding in his lungs. Fine like everything's on fire, but I'm dealing with it, or fine like I don't want my boyfriend to worry, so I'm going to say I'm fine. I scooched away from the table, taking in his concerned demeanor. If he knew who I really was, he'd understand. He would understand why I lied, and everything would make sense. I've been keeping this secret, guarding it with my whole heart. But, oh, how freeing it would be to tell him. I'm fine, like everything is actually fine, okay? I snapped back. As soon as the words left my lips, I instantly regretted them. And the look on his face. It was more than just disappointment. I hurt him. His eyebrows knit together, a grimace settling into his perfect features. I hadn't meant to take that tone with him. He deserved to know the truth. No more secrets. He pushed back from the table, standing. Maybe I should just. He started, passing by me to leave. Please, Adrien. I reached to take his hand. Stay. I'm sorry. He looked at me with sadness, as my eyes didn't meet his. He did as I asked, albeit hesitantly. Talk to me, Marinette. The truth this time. He grabbed my hand that tapped on the table involuntarily, riddled with the anxiety of the secret that could change everything. What if it's the truth that makes you hate me? I whispered, eyeing my hand as I picked at my remaining nail polish. I could never, ever hate you, he said sincerely. I pulled my eyes to meet his. It took all of my strength to do so. Unless, of course, you're secretly Hawkmoth. That might be a different story, he joked, attempting to ease my tension. I laughed dryly. Yeah, that's definitely not it. You can trust me. I know, it's just... I inhaled through my teeth. I'm Ladybug. I mumbled, slurring the words together. What? He cocked his head to the side. Come on, Marinette! Why was this so hard? I needed to pull myself together. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, I shouldn't think that way, but he could break up with me, tell me he hates me, or a myriad of other equally awful scenarios. But Alia knows, and she's still my best friend, so maybe. I'm Ladybug, I said bravely, hoping he could accept that. You... Ladybug? My heart sank a bit at his disbelief. Yeah, I stammered. The urge to avoid his gaze held strong, but I never broke eye contact. Adrien's eyes darted to the side before landing back on me, wearing an expression I had difficulty placing. Wow, okay, He searched for the right words to use. I said nothing, allowing him time to process this bombshell. I had all the time in the world today. I sat, one leg crossed over another, hands folded atop the glass table. My posture looked more like an interviewer asking a future employee questions, not a girlfriend who just told her boyfriend she had been a superhero this entire time. The silence passed, inching by like a caterpillar gnawing on a nearby leaf. Adrien breathed for the first time in what felt like minutes. I thought you weren't supposed to tell anyone your secret identity. What about Cat Noir? I'm in love with you, Adrien. I've wanted to tell you, but didn't know how. Keeping this secret. Lying to you? It became too painful. I spoke carefully. Cat Noir. I can't tell him. His face darkened. Why? He wants to know who I am, but it would be too dangerous. A flicker of anger crossed his face, but quickly disappeared. I flinched even though he said nothing, but it was the look. Why? He asked, quieter. Images of Cat Blanc flashed through my mind. An ashen ladybug reaching out desperately, floating around in the destruction of her beloved city. No, he couldn't know. I couldn't bear that future. What if I couldn't save him again? I had to give him some kind of palatable response, one that would help him understand. To protect our identities. I have to protect us from Hawkmoth. I quieted my voice to keep my secret from the patrons of this coffee shop. Adrien nodded with understanding, but then said just as hushed, Let me worry about protecting you, Bugaboo. Bugaboo? No, it can't be. He can't be. Adrien, that name. You are... I took a gulp, my throat dry. But... I opened my mouth a few times, words failing. What do I say to someone that I feel like I'm getting to know all over again? Where do we go from here? Adrien said, quasi-changing the subject. Well, how do you feel about me being Ladybug? I asked, a chill running down my spine despite the warmth of the building. Shocked, but I'm lucky. He reached out, taking my hands, finally meeting my eyes. Lucky? Yeah, I fell in love with you twice. You know what everyone says, m'lady. Adrien smirked, sending a lump to my throat. Breaking the seriousness of our conversation, a yawn ripped through the air. A yawn sounding impossibly large for a small person. Adrien chuckled, but I sunk into my seat, feeling all eyes on me. No. What do they say? I asked cautiously. We're made for each other, m'lady. He squeezed my sweaty hand, tension releasing from my body. Adrien never failed to make me smile and feel comfortable, even in the most uncomfortable situations. I laughed to myself. We really were made for each other. So, now what? Did this change things? Maybe. But despite that, my heart felt light, having all secrets laid out on the table. So, where do we go from here? Anywhere we want. But first, coffee. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to give this video a big like and subscribe. That would be amazing. Also, leave me a comment for Mr. Algorithm. If you're not sure what to comment, say no more secrets. And as always, stay miraculous.